All right, welcome back, Bear Down, and appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun today. We're going to do a mock draft, but we're going to do it completely with players from the Reese's Senior Bowl practices that have been taking place. We're going to try to highlight those that have been showing up and showing off a little bit. Now, this isn't going to be your typical mock draft that I do. I'm not going to break down the entire team, the entire salary cap. I'm just going to hit some of the positions of need and some of the players that have been showing off and put them where they could potentially go in a mock draft with spots the Bears have. Now, I am going to include, because it is being reported that Ian Cunningham is the front runner for the Jaguars GM job. So the Bears would get a comp pick in 2025 and 2026. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in pick 100 there. And I don't know if the Bears are going to trade down. I have no idea. But for the purpose of this video, I am going to trade down from 10. I know some of you in the comments have been saying that I am trading down too much. I just really see the value of the defensive line and offensive linemen at the mid to end of this first round. We don't have to take someone in the top 10. Now, we probably will. For the purpose of this video, it gives me a couple extra draft picks, so don't be bashing on me because I traded down again. I don't necessarily think the Bears will. I want the Bears to. I see the value in the Bears doing it. But I want to pick up a couple extra picks because then it gives me the ability to show you guys a couple extra players. So we'll jump into this and we will show you guys some key players. I do want to say before we get started, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, smash that thing, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Hit those notifications because we're coming up on 10,000 subscribers. Guys, that's unfathomable to me. I did not expect that after just a year of this channel. And I want to say thank you. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's a lot of fun to do this with you guys. I know you guys are very supportive, giving a lot of great comments, making me feel like this is worth it. So we're going to keep doing it. And I just want to say thank you. From the bottom of my heart, we're hitting there. We're getting there. We're getting to 10,000. So like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's hop into this. All right, so here are our Bears picks. You got my little Bear Down logo. You got 10, 39, 41, 32. We got 100 from Ian Cunningham, the comp pick. We have our own at 148, 193, 233, and 240. So those are the picks the Bears have, the 8 picks we have. We're going to go ahead and trade down. This time we're going to make it, late teens, just to make it a little bit of fun. That's not actually the correct rich value trade amounts. The 110 is. I didn't correct this one. So we're going to put me right there so we can ignore the fact that I didn't do it perfectly. It's actually closer to pretty equal here on this one. But that gives us, plus we're going to do a future fourth. So we're going to do first. Now we have 3 seconds, 2 thirds, a fourth, a fifth, sixth, seventh, and a future fourth. So we picked up 2 extra draft picks. So we're going to pick 10 guys in our hypothetical draft. And man, there was one at the end here that I just had to throw in at 253. He's an undrafted free agent prospect right now. So I'm going to say we traded a future 7th, just like last year. We traded a future 5th to come in for a 4th. Traded a future 7th or something to get 253. Just let me throw an extra one in there, okay, guys? I'm throwing an extra one in. Maybe we just say he's an undrafted free agent. Either way, I want to throw an extra one in here because I want to highlight someone. So after trading down our first pick, number 19 overall, we're going to take Walter Nolen. You guys have known I've been high on him all along. We're going to go ahead and take Walter Nolen. All right, Walter Nolen right now is considered a middle to late first-round pick. I think he would be an absolute steal for the Bears if we took him 19th overall. If we traded down, I mean, heck, we might even take him at 10. He's so powerful with the burst, and he moves so fluid, 3-tech or nose tackle, so really great value. Now, Wyatt Milum, to me, is high on my board. He didn't have the best week at Shrine Week so far, so maybe he falls a little bit. We can always see what happens there, but a lot of people have him mid-second round. Some people have him late first round. I've thought of him as a late first rounder. This might be the type of thing where he could drop a little bit because of not the best showing. It's a bunch of things that come into the draft. You're going to have the combine. Combine is going to be one of the biggest things. Shrine Bowl is a big part of it, but you can see a lot of players didn't even show up to the Shrine Bowl. They didn't feel like they needed to improve their stock by going to the Shrine Bowl. And then they've got the body of work from the season and everything else. So Wyatt Milum, really, really extremely positive season. You can see he hasn't given up a sack in 3 years at West Virginia. So not a single sack given up. Only 8 pressures each of the last 2 years and a decent amount of snaps on all of those too. Low penalty rate, so really good. And for those who are looking, this is from NFL Draft Buzz where I'm pulling this stuff at. You can see that last updated 12/6, 2024, but the measurables are all updated recently from the Shrine Bowl. So even though they say last updated a while ago, they are actually updating these things as we speak. So I'm including them on here. 6'6", 317 pounds. I really like Wyatt Milum a lot. And he can play, I mean, he's 317, so he's big enough to play tackle, but he can play guard. He has played both before. As you guys know, I'm on the train of thought that Braxton Jones has locked down the left tackle job for one more year, that he's going to be the starting left tackle in a prove-it type of contract year. But Wyatt Milum could play left guard and shift out to left tackle if Braxton doesn't work out. There's a lot of options here for how things could pan out. But playing him, drafting him the early second round, that would be a steal for me. All right, next up, we are going to take Tez Johnson. I know some people might not be thinking he's going to be that high because your draft simulators will tell you that he is a third-round pick. Telling you with his speed, 4.33 speed, you saw it happen last year with Xavier Worthy, and look at how Xavier Worthy's doing with the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's only going to reinforce teams taking these speedsters. But what he just did at the Shrine Bowl is worthy enough for him to be creeping up into higher rounds. Some people even think he could creep into the first round like Xavier Worthy did last year. It's possible. So I'm going to take him higher than I've ever taken him in any of my mock drafts. Like I said, don't get stuck on where these go. I'm trying to highlight guys. But round 2, pick 41, I would still be very happy with this pick. If we're going to lose Keenan Allen, this is a great option at slot, and he can separate. Yes, he's a little smaller. You see his size from the Shrine Bowl. They've measured him down to 165 here. I think one report had him at 156, 5'10". I think he was 5'9". Now his hands, arms span 4.33. The combine, some people think he could be touching near the 4.3 speed at the combine. So this speedster works really well with Ben Johnson in his system. And I would obviously be excited to see him do this type of stuff. So here's some highlights from the Shrine Bowl. And constant separation, juking people out, good route running, good moves, and really connected well with any of the quarterbacks that were throwing to him. So he was a highlight all week, one of the top players at the Shrine Bowl. So I think the Bears would be really lucky. Yes, I know we need to hit trenches. First, second, third. I know we need to hit all that, and everyone but there's a lot of opportunity, and Tez Johnson would be something that would impact this team from day one. Get Ben Johnson's system in, get Caleb flowing with 3 top receivers. I think it would be a great opportunity, so I'm all in on picking Tez Johnson, even if it's at number 41. All right, now remember we picked trenches with our first and second picks. Then we took a wide receiver. Now we're going to go back to the trenches. We're going to go back to the trenches, and Deion Walker, who I have not been extremely high on because he hasn't gotten a ton of pressure. Missed tackles were up a little bit. As far as nose tackle goes, I kind of thought I wanted someone that would be more stout. And then Deion Walker came to the Shrine Bowl and showed me his tape from the season is not the only body of work. Deion Walker has put on a show, and at his size, 6'6", 345 pounds, he would take over Andrew Billings day one, even as a second-round pick, the extra pick we got by trading down. He would absolutely take over Andrew Billings and start day one. No doubt in my mind he would be the starting nose tackle. So you might even have to take him higher than this. Like I said, don't get stuck on the spot for these guys. Because look at the tape here from Deion Walker. He's pushing guys back. He's big, and he's trucking for 345 pounds. All week, he has just been a force in the backfield. So, I mean, this play right here, he's meant to stand up the guy and play run defense, so that was good to see. And you see him getting on that one, and then here's him doing a couple of the drills. So, I mean, look at him move. Just a big boy. So, I'm actually really high on Deion Walker now. I wasn't as high before, and I know some of you guys in the chat have been very high on him before. His stop percentage is good. He gets good containment. His pressure just wasn't there as much this year. You look last year, he got 8 sacks last year. And overall, total pressure is 51 last year. So last year was a little bit better of hopefully what we would be getting if we drafted him. The talent is there, so it'll be up to whoever the defensive line coach is, wherever he gets drafted, to be able to pull out of him. His wingspan is huge. I mean, he's just a monster of a human being. So we're taking Deion Walker with the extra pick we got. Round 2, pick 53 overall. All right, those of you who have been following the Shrine Bowl know Gray Zabel has been showing up. Played tackle at North Dakota State during the season, but he's smaller. You can see he's 6'6", but only 305. He took reps at guard, at center. He took reps everywhere at the Shrine Bowl. So there's opportunity. And when he was interviewed, dude, he was classy, humble, just loves football. I would not be shocked if he moves up into the second round. Depends on how much a team wants to take this body of work from North Dakota State. I mean, they didn't play anybody at all that was tough competition. So it's the same type of thing with Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones actually looked good measurables coming out of college, but it was Southern Utah University. Same thing as North Dakota State. Just you're not playing the level of competition to get a true gauge on that. And you can see it wasn't just 1 year. He's been good consistently, but this was really the breakout year. Everything on him, 93, 86, 90, really high. 7 pressures allowed this year was all, and he's been a staple. But at practice, at the Shrine Bowl practice, he's looked even better. So here's some of the reps of him at Shrine Bowl practice. Jonah Monheim there snapping the ball and just really containing this guy. Everyone very excited in that rep. Doing a good job standing wherever he was lined up, center or guard. Really, most of the reps were guard here, but you can see really just hand fighting, doing a really good job. And everyone was very impressed with great Zabel. I know a lot of you guys want me to pronounce it right. Zabel did a really good job this week at the Shrine Bowl. So I wouldn't be upset at all if we took him as a rotational guard, option at center. Who knows? Get the best 5 guys on the line. Figure it out from there. All right, pick 100. Yes, we're going to have to address the linebacker room at some point. I'm all in favor of bringing back Jack Sanborn, but then we still need one more. Eamon Ogbongbemiga is off contract. Do we re-sign him? Do we draft one? Depends on what happens in free agency. Depends on what happens, as we get to the draft, how many picks we have. If we don't trade down, probably not. But this is the perfect spot with the Ian Cunningham pick. I know a lot of people want to take a running back here. I want to take a running back too. Running backs weren't really the highlight of the Shrine Bowl, so I'm going to highlight one running back later, one that I really don't think we would take, but it's a good option if we do because, anyways, we'll get to him in a minute. Chris Paul Jr., someone I highlighted in a couple of my mock drafts earlier. I really like Chris Paul Jr. I think he's got good length and good coverage skills as well. He can still hit hard. A little bit on the smaller size, 235 pounds, but I think he's a good option if we're looking to replace Tremaine Edmonds next year. So there were limited reps to find on Chris Paul, but all the ones that were there, really good. He did a good job. This one's a little grainy, but see, covered well, got in there, did a good job. Like to see more hitting, but that's from the season. You go look at season tape, and he actually did. He was a pretty good hitter, so hit pretty hard. So I like the option of Chris Paul. Depends on the Bears' needs when we hit that point. All right, round 4, pick 120. We're going a little unconventional here. Lots of options, especially if we want to get rid of Gerald Everett. Signing or drafting Elijah Arroyo would be a great option. Watch this. He catches this ball and then punts it into the stands. I like the personality, though. I like the fieriness. Gets a little flag there for it. But he was running well, and he's good size, too. 6'4", 250-ish pounds. He's going to be able to hold his own as pass blocking. You looked right below there. His pass blocking has been really good this last year, and I think he's a good option to be able to replace Gerald Everett. Or even if we keep Gerald Everett, having a cheaper developmental rookie tight end to be able to replace him for next year. Maybe he doesn't get as many snaps this year. We'll see what happens when Ben Johnson comes in and puts his own schemes in. But those 12 personnel sets, the 2 tight ends, having the weapons we need. I know some of us were upset last year when we let go of Brennan Bates, ended up getting snagged by the Jets. I would be more excited about Elijah Arroyo. Watching him at the Shrine Bowl, he's really been standing out. He's a great option if the Bears are going to go that route and take a tight end. All right, our own pick in the 5th round, number 148, Jonah Monheim. Obviously played with Caleb Williams at USC last year in the last couple of years, but he was not the center. A lot of people get that a little bit confused. He was not the center at that time. He shifted to center, so he's played center this last year. But he's played right tackle or left tackle. He's played other positions on the line, so he's a versatile offensive lineman. I would see the Bears starting him at center if we went ahead and drafted him. His Senior Bowl was up and down, but very typical for him. Really good this last year. No sacks allowed, but 16 pressures. So he's not going to be your perfect guy, but if we re-sign Coleman Shelton or, heck, a lot of people want Drew Dalman. Say we take Drew Dalman, they have him compete against each other. There's good options here, so I like taking Jonah Monheim. And this sounds like it's exactly where he's going to fall, is right here at the 4th, 5th round. You're not getting the number 1 guys in the draft, but maybe Gray Zabel is center too. There's a lot of options, but I like taking a bunch of these guys in the line. And you see him here on his snaps. He did a really good job so far. This is a pancake right here. Pancake. Well, twist the guy. Made it so the running back can get through, though. So Really, really good option with Jonah Monheim. And as we get into these 6th, 7th rounders, these are going to be some prospects that you're going to look at tape from the Shrine Bowl. This is where you're going to get that tape from. And you're going to look at these guys and say, okay, we're going to take a flyer on this guy and see if we can develop him. But at 6'5", 310 pounds, that's good size center. Coleman Shelton's just under 300 pounds. So, but his arms, you can see he's probably not ever going to play tackle in the NFL. Arms 30 and 5/8 inches. That's extremely short, but quick, good burst, and athletic. So Jonah Monheim, Caleb's old teammate. It would be fun to see them paired up. All right, so here's the running back I'm talking about. Obviously, Travis Etienne's little brother, Trevor Etienne. To me, didn't fit all the characteristics and builds of what I was looking for running back, so I've never really taken him before. A little bit small, 5'9", 205. I mean, it's not out of range. It's right within range of NFL running back, so it's very reasonable. But what he's done at the Shrine Bowl so far has been really good. Everyone's raving about Trevor Etienne. He did have an injury earlier this year, and I know that was part of the concern. I don't have all the details right here as I'm doing the video of the injury, but I remember there was an injury, so there was some concern as far as that regard with him. Would he be healthy? Would he be back? And he's just absolutely looked stellar at the Shrine Bowl so far. His elusiveness is also off the chart. Good yards after contact. He's not your guy that's going to be like Ashton Genty or Omarion Hampton or Cam Scattaboo, where he's, your center of balance guy that's not going to get knocked over, but he's going to be your elusive guy. And I know we already have that in DeAndre Swift, but I'm just highlighting some guys that did really well at the Shrine Bowl. So Trevor Etienne put enough on tape that if I'm the Bears and I want another option to be able to have a receiving back, an elusive back, one that can still hit the hole, but he's not going to be your bulldozer, this is a good option late in the draft. So I know we'd be looking for other options for the Bears, but I just really like what he did at the Shrine Bowl, so I want to highlight him here. I think he did a really good job, and he improved his stock. Trevor Etienne. All right, round 6, 233. This is a guy that a lot of people are buzzing about now. You see the little headline from one of the beat writers that wrote on this. Efton Chism entered the Shrine Bowl as a relative unknown to some media and scouts, but turned heads in practice all week. His craftiness as a route runner created consistent separation, and he caught virtually every pass thrown his way. Chism also took reps returning punts, which would be valuable for the Bears as well. I was extremely impressed with him, and I actually went back and looked at some tape from a couple of recommendations from you guys, Knowledge especially, showing some tape from him at Eastern Washington. I have overlooked Efton Chism. In fact, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I made a post where I said, who is this that I've been overlooking, that I have not even looked at film yet? And that was like 2 or 3 days ago. Now I've been watching a lot on him. The whole last couple week has basically been divulged into the Shrine Bowl and some of these guys that are standing out. And Efton Chism is a route runner, and he is good sized, and he's got the right mentality. He's got, honestly, a Puka Nacua type of mentality to me when you listen to his interviews at the Shrine Bowl. So I'm really high on Efton Chism. He probably will go higher than the 6th round at this point. I don't know, because it's multiple things. Another small school guy again, but look at his contested catch rate, his drop rate. You guys know I love that stuff. Drop rate, all of his years, extremely low. Passer rating when targeted, extremely high. His contested catch rate, high. So I will not be shocked if he goes in the 5th, 4th, 3rd round. Won't be shocked at all, but I would see him more as a Puka Nacua guy, taken in the 4th or 5th round, and really excels in the NFL level. There's a lot of potential here. So here's Efton Chism in the drills. I think I showed some of these the other day. If not, either way, you can see his good route running. I mean, he's got good stop, got good control of his route running in his body. So it just burns this guy here. And he's not your flashy 4.3. I'm not even a 4.4 guy. I think they said it's probably going to come in around 4.5-ish, maybe even a little higher than that. So he's not your burner. But neither was Puka Nacua, and I'm sorry, that's not a perfect comp for him. I'm not trying to say that, but he's that type of mentality, and I liked it a lot, and he's got really crisp cuts and route running. So I like Efton Chism a lot. I think he'd be a good option for whatever team drafts him. All right, next up, Tyler Batty, round 7, pick 240, which is normally our last pick in this draft. Like I said, I'm going to throw an extra one in there, whether you consider it an undrafted free agent or whether we traded back into the draft, whatever you want to say. I just want to give one more after Tyler Batty. But Tyler Batty, defensive end, edge, out of BYU, good size, 275 pounds, 6'5". I think he just needs a little more flex and bend, but what you just saw at the Shrine Bowl was really positive out of him, and he's going up everyone's board. In fact, I didn't even know. One of you guys in the comments pointed out to me that PFN and NFL Mock Draft Database both have raised his stock now into the 5th, 6th round. So 7th round might not be possible, but there's such, I mean, this is, and someone else in the comments on the other video said, is it just me, or is this video like, or is this draft full of more talent than people have acknowledged? And I do believe that. I believe we have 2 6ths and 2 7ths, and I think it's a really good year to have that. If Ryan Poles and company can do a good job of finding some of these late round guys, there's a good potential we could have some tackles, we could have some defensive ends, we could have some guys that develop out of the 6th, 7th round, when normally those guys, you know, they kind of, Jatiri Carter type of guys, they don't really develop because you don't have a deep draft. This is a deep draft. These guys probably won't start year one, but they could develop and become perennial impact players on this team for sure. So here's Tyler Batty, and good little fake move there. You can do a cross chop here in just a second. And he's, I mean, that burst is good. He's coming off the line, and he's got a lot of confidence and a lot of, here's the cross chop. Just, feet up in the air. You see that? There's a lot of potential with this kid. A lot of potential. So you see him push him away, and now he's going to follow and track it. Very Austin Booker-esque to follow the play down the field. He's not day one ready, but there's a lot of potential there with Tyler Batty, and he is showing off. So we'll see what happens next with him. All right, last and considered by most an undrafted free agent at this point, but had a huge year this last year, his best year so far. He's not as quick to get out for a tackle. He should be a little bit quicker at 320 pounds, but he's not as quick to get out on his run blocking, so there's a little bit of a knock on him there. But what he has done at the Shrine Bowl the last couple days has been very impressive to people. In fact, on the first day, this is what one beat writer had said about him. In my opinion, John Williams was the best John Williams, Cincinnati offensive tackle, who would be a true offensive tackle. Best offensive tackle on day one. His movement skills popped off film, redirecting with ease, and his hand placement looked better in drills than I thought on film. In an inconsistent tackle clash, John Williams could be a riser on day 3 if he keeps it up throughout the week. And that's what popped off in the video in watching him. Very good control of his body, really good base, and able to hand fight really well. So he held his own the last couple days at the Shrine Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see if his stock rises as well. There was Tyler Batty, him going against Tyler Batty. So it'd be interesting to see how he rises in this draft, but there's a good opportunity for the Bears to nab. It's very so a lot of people are saying, why don't we just take a tackle in the first round? Why are you opposed? I'm not opposed. I just don't see the value there. And this is something I explained in one of the comments on the threads, is at the very top of this draft, there's a huge separation between the defensive ends and the defensive tackles, between like picks 1 through say 40 or ish. You know, after that, you kind of it's a whole nother tier down after that for defensive tackle, defensive end, and then you've got a lot of really good prospects that could develop. But I mean, you've got a ton of guys between 1 and 50 that are probably going to be some really good stars. But as far as the offensive line, it's really just mediocre throughout, but a lot of opportunities to get guys later on, like Luke Candres that I've mentioned before. He could be a good opportunity in the 4th, 5th round, but he's not going to be a superstar. In the same way in this 1st and 2nd round, there's some guys there. Maybe Tyler Booker is the separation of where the really, really good ones end. So end of 1st round, you know, if we want to take him at 19 instead of Walter Nolen, I'm totally good with that. And then but at 110, Kelvin Banks to me, and you're seeing it a lot, guys. You're seeing it a lot now. Kelvin Banks is being said by some that he's probably not even a top 20 pick, that he should be end of 1st round pick. Will Campbell's a little more regarded as a top 10 pick. Will he be there at 10? If we do, I'm not going to be crazy upset about it. But there's a lot of opportunity at the top of the draft for tackles and edges that could really impact team day 1. Talking Micah Parson types of guys. And then throughout the draft, there's some mediocre offensive line. So I say mediocre, I don't mean that as in like terrible, but I just mean like not your superstar blue chip guys is how I should phrase that better. But John Williams, good prospect here as an undrafted free agent right now, or as a late round pick at the end of the draft. And then here's how all our picks shake out as we resolve everything that we did. In the 1st round, we took Walter Nolen, who's done well. I think he's done for the Senior Bowl. Some of these guys won't be playing in the game on Saturday. So Saturday's game is at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. Some of these guys just came for some of the drills to learn, to be coached by some different coaches here, to be able to understand some different things, improve their draft stock. So Walter Nolen, I don't believe, will be playing. Wyatt Milum, Tez Johnson, Deion Walker with our Fourth pick, third one in the second round. So we took 2 defensive tackles there. Gray Zabel, Chris Paul Jr., Elijah Arroyo, tight end out of Miami, Jonah Monheim, Trevor Etienne, Efton Chism, Tyler Batty, and John Williams. So really good options here. Let me know who stuck out to you guys. I know it's limited video that I was able to share with you guys, but I did want to show a couple little highlights there. And no, I don't think this is how the draft will really go. Again, I created this one to highlight some players with the draft where they could fall for the Bears in the draft. So a little bit of fun there. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that. Please hit the like button. Please share it with your friends. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I do appreciate all of you guys. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of it. Da Bears, and bear down.